The Prime Minister doesn't have the guts to stand up to ban this group. Pierre goes off on the Liberals to impose sanctions on Iran. Here's the clip.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Echoed around the world over the weekend as hundreds of thousands of people protested against the terrorist regime in Iran. Here in Canada, we're among the biggest protests. But the Prime Minister didn't have the guts to show up because he didn't want to have to explain why he has failed to criminalize the IRGC, the terrorist arm of the Iranian government, which killed over 50 Canadians when it attacked a civilian aircraft. Will the Prime Minister have the guts to stand in today and announce he's banning this terrorist organization?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
We condemn in the most unequivocal terms the tragic killing of Mahsa Amini, and we stand with the women, her family, and her supporters at this very difficult time. And there needs to be consequences for everyone who was responsible for that killing, and indeed all of the transgressions of human rights in Iran, which is why there are tangible consequences, including just last week, the Minister of Global Affairs listing the morality piece as one of those parties that will be sanctioned. We will continue to explore all options when it comes to holding those responsible and defending human rights here and around the world.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
We don't need symbolic sanctions. We need real action against this terrorist organization, and we need it now. The Minister says he's still exploring. This terrorist organization murdered over 50 Canadians by shooting down a civilian aircraft over 2 years ago.
That's right.
This government promised they would ban that terrorist organization not long after that. They still haven't done it. It is perfectly legal for that group to raise money, organize logistics on Canadian soil after it killed our people. What kind of Prime Minister fails to stand up for his own citizens after they've been murdered? Why won't he stand in his place today and ban this group?
The Honourable Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, what is happening in Iran is completely unacceptable. This is the regime that is persecuting women. This is the same regime that decided to down flight PS752. Therefore, we are sanctioning the RGC's core leadership. We are imposing new sanctions. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? We will do more because more needs to be done. Thank you.
L'honorable député de Louis Saint-Laurent.
Monsieur le Président, vendredi matin dans ma...
Mr. Speaker, Friday morning, in my riding, I attended an event and attended the inauguration of the community fridge. These events were connected to food assistance. Many families in Quebec and Canada are facing challenges. Everybody needs to eat, but not everybody has the money to do so. Is the government aware of this reality? And could they do the bare minimum, which is to not increase taxes? The Honourable Minister of Family. Mr. Speaker, we understand that costs of living for families are high. That's why, in 2015, we introduced the Canada Child Benefit. From 2015, it has raised 450,000 children in this country out of poverty. Mr. Speaker, we are there for families. We have been there for families, and we will be there for families. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint-Laurent. Mr. Speaker, we're talking about the basics. Food, families in need. People who used to be able to give food but now have to take it. We are a G7 country, and food banks aren't enough. And what does this government want to do? Increase taxes. Can this government have a heart and understand that the Liberal carbon tax is no, no, no? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we understand very well that Canadian families are experiencing trouble. That is why we are going to increase payments to ease the burden of inflation. These measures will give $500 to Canadian families. Now is the time for Conservatives to support our plan for dental care for children and housing payments. That's real support.
New Brunswick Southwest.
Mr. Speaker, there are two constants with this Liberal government. Liberals have never seen a tax they do not like. They have never seen a tax they will not hike. Conservatives know that a dollar left with Canadians is better than in the hands of the politicians who taxed it. So will this government cancel its plan to triple its carbon tax on groceries, gasoline, and home energy fuels?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment.
Mr. Speaker, I know math is not the Conservative Party of Canada's forte. I don't understand how going from $50 to $65 is a tripling, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for New Brunswick Southwest.
Triple. This government will triple the tax on gasoline, triple the tax on energy, and make everything Canadians buy more expensive. Liberals don't have a plan for the environment. They have a bone-crushing tax plan.